So you're all welcome to the GVV Train the Trainer Facilitation, which we call TOT. So you're all welcome. And if you're on this call, this means that you expressed interest in becoming a GVV trained facilitator. And that means that you also enjoyed the GVV course that was online. So after this training, you will receive a certificate, which means that you are a GVV trained facilitator. But in order for you to receive that certificate, you have to have completed the online course. So if you haven't as of now, you will not receive your certificate until you have completed the online course. So my name is Ajua. I work at the Education Collaborative at Ashesi University, and I also serve as the GVV Africa course administrator. So you're all very welcome. I know that Dr. Baidu will take us through some introductions. So allow me to introduce our facilitator for today, who has been with GVV really since the very beginning, and she's one of our seasoned and quite passionate facilitator for the course. So Dr. Dinah Baidu, who is the senior librarian at Ashesi University. Dr. Baidu, you're welcome.
So welcome everyone. I can see Dennis, Jesse, Jill, Kusi, George, is it Jordines? And then William from Rwanda. You're all welcome to today's session, Giving Voice to Values Africa. And I am happy for your interest in becoming a facilitator for the GVV Africa program. Today, we are going to take you through the live facilitation. And as you have done or completed your Moodle learning in the pace that you could do it. So thank you, Ajwa, for the introduction. So GVV Africa Train the Trainer. So the session goes, we are here as learners or trainees to learn and practice giving voice to our values through a GVV Africa case. We have our own personal values. There are institutional values, institutions that we work, they have their values that we have to work with or obey. There are family values, there could be community values, cultural values, so many different values that we know of. We will reflect on our future role as GVV facilitator. Introduction. We are going to introduce ourselves. Recall a time when your values conflicted with what you observed or were asked to do. In case there is something that happened that it conflicts your values, you don't have to tell us the whole story, but you give us one word that describes how you felt at the time. For example, you can say, I felt bad at the time. And you are going to start with your name, the name of your organization, the role in your organization, and then you give us one word to describe a values conflicted issue or case that is related to you. So I will let Mr. Dennis start with us.
My name is Dennis Abibio. I'm with the Bank of Ghana, and I'm an auditor, internal auditor. In Ashesi, I'm in the MBA class. So that's my background. One word to describe how I felt, or maybe a scenario of a dilemma, was not actually in my office, but rather somewhere outside my office. I was discussing an issue it's a faith-based organization. And so my expectation was that if there will be ethical issues, not in a faith-based organization, because values are what we preach. So when the issue happened, where it was like, let's put the faith aside and do this, I was a bit scandalized, because I was like,
Oh,
then what's the essence of,
scandalized.
yes, what's the essence of this whole thing we are all working at?
Mm.
If there will be a time for us to say, let's put our faith aside and do something else. So
All right.
it really
Thank
got me
you,
thinking.
Mr.
Thank you.
Dennis. Yeah, I understand that you were a bit scandalized. All right. So I will have Mr. Jesse to come up with his own.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jesse Jokusi. Um, I work in the mobility space. I work with a company called Yango. I'm the head of operations at Yango. I'm also at HSC. I'm in the MBA class. So Dennis, is a colleague at HSC. I think one issue happened in I think my two previous roles, where I saw that a team member was conniving to steal money from one of our vendors. And when I confronted him, I think he was surprised. I felt that was an issue. He was surprised I flagged that particular instance. And that made me feel bad because I questioned how he saw or appreciated my values.
Okay, so you felt bad, Mr. Jesse. Thank
Yes.
you for sharing. So the next is Jordine.
Yeah, I am a
Please go ahead.
bioengineering student at Ashesi University, class 28, and a co-founder of Ubuntu Med, currently participating in Ashesi Health and Care Initiative Incubation. So
Okay.
my situation is when I was a class representative in senior high school and I punished the students due to unable to clean the classroom, but the headmaster came later and double punished them without asking what happened. And then the situation was to send the students back to their home for a 1 week. But
Mm.
I talked to the headmaster, telling him that it's not fair to send the students or to double punish them after our
So
punishment.
at the time, what was your feeling? What the incident happened, how did you feel?
I felt bad and
You
I
felt
wanted to,
bad.
yeah, to voice
Okay.
my values. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So these were incidents that push us to change our attitude or act in a way or speak up. And some of us felt scandalized or shocked or horrified. And then others also felt bad, right? So we will continue to see what is in this case that we are going to read and study today so that we can learn from it and then relate it to our personal issues, right? Our personal issues. So if there is an issue of unethical behavior, something that conflicted with your values, learning this case, then you would know that there are issues that are more and more of unethical in this our African region, so that we would actually be careful in the future. And I know because of some of these things, learning giving voice to value would actually be a good thing for you. So reading case and discussing. So, Mr. Dennis, I hope you are ready now to start reading the case with us.
Yes, please,
Thank
I'm
you.
ready.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
GVV Africa's case A, promotion denied. Musa's eye glistened with tears as he sat at his master's graduation ceremony. Completing his master's degree meant so much to him, as it had always seemed like a distant, unachievable dream. He listened to his class valedictorian speech, reflecting on her question, "What one thing are you most grateful for when you reflect on your journey up to this point?" "My community," thought Musa. "There's no way I would have made it to this point without them." And he vowed to himself, right there and then, that if he were ever in the position to use the knowledge and skills he had acquired through college, it would be to the service of the people. It would be That would be his way of giving back. Musa had fond memories of his childhood. At the end of the farming season, all those in the village who had a good harvest would share with those whose produce had been destroyed by vagaries of the weather. One of his most treasured memories was of the time his family's thatch roof house got burnt, and with it all their worldly possessions, which did not amount to much. He could still hear his mother's wailing ringing in his head. "I am finished, though. I'm finished." The following morning, the community had come together and everyone had chipped in to a collection for them. By nightfall, his family had more in possessions than they had before the fire. Through this support, they were able to reorganize their lives, and Musa had the opportunity to get educated. These experiences taught him that it was not enough to prosper as an individual or a family, but that what makes a successful family is living harmoniously with others, sharing resources, and taking on each other's problems. Musa's first job after his master's program was an assistant lecturer in the College of Health and Environmental Sciences at Akwento University, a large public university located in a rural part of the country. One of the reasons he took the job was that the campus was surrounded by small agricultural communities, similar to the community where he grew up, and within which he hoped to engage and conduct useful research. Musa enjoyed teaching the courses he was assigned, and began sourcing grants to further his research and community engagement interests. Unfortunately, this rather quickly put him into conflict with the dean of the college when it became clear that the dean had redirected grant funds due Musa for work on other funded projects to others in the department, including the dean himself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. Can we move on to Mr. Gio for the next?
Musa was aware of university policies related to grant funding and financial impropriety. But when he approached a few of his colleagues about the issue, he learned that his situation was not unique and that such policies were rarely, if ever, implemented within his college. Things came to a head when he decided to confront the dean for attempting to cheat him out of funds due him on a project. He reported the matter to the university's director of finance, and a mediation committee was set up, which came to the conclusion that the grant funds should be duly paid to Musa. After the verdict was announced, Musa addressed the meeting. "Let the dean keep the money if he likes, because that is clearly what he was trying to do, cheat me out of it." Musa picked up his files and walked out. The issue was eventually resolved in a more amicable manner, but it soured Musa's relationship with the dean, and thereafter they interacted only along formal lines. Musa sometimes wondered if he had overreacted in the moment. Be that as it may, he was glad that the right thing had been done. Who knows who the dean's next victim would be? He asked himself. Sorry. Musa continued to cast about for opportunities to render service to the communities around Akwantio. There were 6 villages nearby engaged in agri-commerce activities. However, typical of small rural communities, they had a number of challenges. These included waterborne diseases, teenage pregnancy, and high maternal mortality rates. To help tackle these challenges and provide some experiential learning for his students, Musa designed a practical field training program for master's students in community health and demographics. During the stakeholder consultation phase, the course caught the attention of the Ministry of Health. They were so impressed that they provided a substantial grant to the college to support the program's successful rollout. The dean was appointed project lead, while Musa was appointed principal investigator. Musa worked hard, particularly during vacation times, to set up the logistics in each community needed for the project's implementation. He held meetings with community leaders and collected baseline data to profile each community and their particular challenges. In line with the University and Ministry of Health grant requirements, Musa kept the dean updated on everything. The day finally arrived to begin teaching the course, which would guide and supervise the students in their practical field training and engagement in the university's surrounding communities. Musa walked into the classroom and received a rude shock. Another faculty, Sam, was already there setting up to teach. Sam, aren't you in the wrong class? Musa asked. Sam replied, I've been assigned to teach the practical field training course. My name was on the updated course schedule we received last week. Musa knew the dean was at the bottom of it and recalled that Sam was one of those implicated in his earlier confrontation with the dean. Instructors who led field trips received travel and other allowances, and the practical field training was packed with field trips. As an administrator of the college, it will be much easier for the dean to line his pockets with allowances if Sam taught the course.
Thank you, Jesse. So we move on now to Williams for the 3rd page.
Thank you. Musa was not afraid to confront the dean, but he thought back to all the other confrontations between them. It would have been enough to make him leave the job had he not been so passionate about his teaching and community outreach. He had put so much into the new course but reflected that his top priority was the learning opportunity for the students and the welfare of the communities that had agreed to participate. A man must know how to choose his battles, Musa said to himself. I will let this one slide. A few years later, Musa obtained his PhD and he believed he was ready to apply for promotion to the position of senior lecturer. He contacted Sam, who was by then his head of department, to request for the application guidelines. He verified that he met the requirements, filled in the application form, attached all of the supporting documentation, and sent his application to the promotions committee. It took the committee 6 months to respond to his application, and then they requested that he provide them with an additional published peer-reviewed article. Musa added 2 additional peer-reviewed articles and resubmitted his application. At Akonto, the promotion process would usually conclude smoothly once the applicant had satisfactorily addressed the issues raised by the committee. Having provided all the needed information, Musa looked forward eagerly to his promotion. A few days later, Musa received an unsigned letter from the promotions committee. He was surprised to find that they had conducted a second full review of his application rather than focusing on the problem areas indicated previously. But what troubled him were the falsehoods and veiled threats contained in the letter. He read, "Your head of department complained that you do not take advice and are not a team player. These issues need to be addressed prior to a application for promotion." The tone of the letter was unprofessional and clearly had nothing to do with the listed criteria for promotion to senior lecturer. Musa had had a few disagreements with Sam about the way in which the department was being run. Musa believed in being frank with people, especially when they were overstepping boundaries. This sometimes made his colleagues complain that he was difficult. They chose to play ostrich when the going got tough, especially because some always seemed to have the backing of the dean. But to Musa, what mattered was telling things as they were. He was not one to shy away from the truth just because someone might be higher in rank. In fact, he blamed the system of rigid hierarchies for the corruption and impunity he felt was so pervasive at the university. So, whenever he felt that something was not right, he would not hesitate to say so. Musa realized that Sam was taking advantage of the promotion process to settle personal scores. These threats come on the back of all the disagreements I have had with Sam and the dean, he said to himself. This is just their way of trying to keep me in line. They feel threatened by me because I'm too vocal. But when I insist that the right things be done, it is only because I believe resources should serve the wider interest of the community rather than go into their pockets. They think they can use this application process. They think they can use this application process to get. This time I can't let it slide. Devise
Thank
an
you so much, William. The last one is about the activity, so we will leave it because it's on the slide. And thank you, everybody, for taking time to read the case. So now we are going to look into it. We are not going to waste time at all. Number one of the question says, what is at stake for key parties? Can we identify who the key parties are from the case? Who are the key parties?
the dean.
The dean is one of them. All right.
Musa,
Musa, okay.
And some.
Sam, okay. So we have Dean, Musa, and Sam.
Communities around the university.
The communities around the university.
the faculty, other faculty members.
Faculty. Okay, other faculty members.
I think a committee was set up earlier. Those
Okay.
members could be part of, the We can
Okay.
consider the members as part of what we.
Okay. So the promotion committee members, right?
Yes.
So who should the protagonist talk to about this situation? Before then, what is at stake for these key parties that we identified? So Musa, Dean, Sam, community, other faculty members, the promotion committee. Is there anything that will be to their disadvantage in terms of their values in this issue?
Okay, for me, I think Musa, the things at stake for him is his promotion and then
All right.
his intention to be able to help the agricultural communities around Akwento University.
Okay, Musa's promotion is at stake, and then his intention to help the community at Akwantuo University. All right,
The university reputation and their company culture.
the university,
Repetition.
petitioning the university.
Repetition. Their
Okay, okay.
Reputation.
The university's reputation. Okay, so should I add the university to the key parties? Because we didn't add the university to the key parties. We didn't mention. So now I've added the university. And then we are talking about the university's reputation as stake, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, William, for that.
The dean is integrity.
Okay. Integrity of the dean. All right. Can we think of Sam? What would be at stake for Sam?
I think Sam also has his reputation at stake.
Okay, so Sam also reputation. Will something affect the community?
The career opportunities for the community members.
Okay, career opportunities.
I
Can you
I think
explain it further?
Yeah, because from the case study, Musa want to help the community members to be aware of what is happening, and maybe from the skills and the knowledge that they will deliver to them, they can get some career to follow afterward.
Okay. So their career growth and development of the community would also be at stake. Thank
True.
you for that, William. I think either Jesse or Dennis wanted to say something before.
good ideas Musa had in
Mm-hmm.
terms of resolving problems. That's what you've said, development.
Okay.
So they were going to lose that.
Okay, the community will lose the good ideas from Musa and the development that he want to put in place. Will anything affect the faculty, the other faculty members? Thank you for these important contributions. So we will look at the next question. Who should the protagonist talk to about this situation, and how should he go about it? Who do we identify as the protagonist in this case?
Musa,
All right, Musa, thank you. So Musa is the protagonist. And who should he go to address the issue? Who should he talk to?
He could speak to Sam.
All right, please go ahead.
He could talk to Sam. He could also identify some members from the promotions committee to speak to them, and also other faculty members as well.
All right, that's fine. Excellent. So Sam would speak to, Musa will speak to Sam, identify some other key members in the university or other faculty members and talk to them. Fine.
I think he can also speak to the dean.
The dean as well. All right.
Yes. Uh,
All right. So, moving on to the third one. It says, what are the main arguments that the protagonist, that is Musa, is trying to counter? So, if Musa is going to talk to the dean, some other members of the higher rank people, what is counter argument based on the issue that has happened to him and the letter that he received?
So I think that one of the issues that he's facing now is the fact that that is how things are done in the university, and so he's more or less going against the status quo. So his counter argument should be whether the status quo produces the best of results for the university, and the need to change the status quo to help individuals within the university achieve more and get rewarded for their achievement. In so doing, the university also stands a chance in getting a better reputation, because then their achievements would bring them, for want of a better word, glory, which everybody will benefit from.
Okay, that's very insightful one. He has to argue about why they feel like what they are doing is right. So anybody who joins them should also inculcate that attitude and go a change. That's what you meant, right?
It is. There is
Swan?
another issue with the fact that he sent the application and like they responded after 6 months, and like he was sure that what he submitted is correct and is worthy the application. So maybe his counter arguments on that, he can maybe talk to the committee and tell them like you should maybe change this, so this should be addressed because maybe they don't have to wait for the 6 months to respond for the email or something like that. So that's another issue, I think.
All right. So the delays alone tells you they might be confused as to what should be done, right? So somebody needed to write a letter, and it might be that they were confused as to the tone of the letter and who should own another argument he has to counter. He has to counter, all right.
I think
Is there,
he could also um, approach the promotions committee and let them distinguish or separate the procedure for promotion from personal performance feedback.
Exactly. All right. So there was promotion needed, which is different from any personal issues. But then his promotion was tagged to he trying to defend his values. The absence of the signature on the letter. So can we also suggest about that?
I think that the committee knew what they were doing was not right,
Okay.
and nobody wanted to be held responsible for what was in the letter. And so if you are taking the letter anywhere without a signatory, it is invalid. So probably that's
Okay.
why they didn't sign.
Okay. Okay. So we'll move to the next. Reasons and rationalizations need to be addressed. So what reasons were given to Ms. Musa that he has to address?
So one reason was the fact that they mentioned he doesn't take advice kindly. Something.
Okay.
You also said he wasn't a team player.
Okay. So he doesn't a team player.
They also say that he's too vocal.
Okay. All right. So how can he address this? What should he say in addressing the reason?
So, like I mentioned earlier, he needs to persuade them to separate his performance or personality
Okay.
feedback from what is at stake for the promotion. And when that is done, he could really ask to talk about the promotion and later tackle the personality or request for evidence as to why they've made such claims.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse. So he can also ask them whether promotion requirement. If not, then the reason that they are giving to him is not valid. Right. We get to our individual reflection. In 5 minutes, we are going to, within ourselves, think of an action plan for Musa to voice his values, right? So we'll move to the next slide. So we are going to develop an action plan, and then we will draw it. In your team, we have one team today. You devise the action plan for Musa to speak and act on his values in this situation. To whom should Musa speak? What is his most persuasive argument and framing? How should he frame the issue? What exactly could he say and do? So we are going to discuss questions such as, what is Musa's value? Facing that issue, what is he standing on? Does he have any background or values that he's holding on to? What are Musa's enablers and disablers for voicing or acting on his values? As we walk through the course on the model online in our own pace, we came across enablers and disablers. So we understand that enablers are for your values when it's being conflicted. There may be things also that will make you to coil and will not say anything. You just let it go. So we will look at your enablers and disablers that you would think of for Musa. Then reasons and rationalization that Musa should encounter and passively. Then we look at what levers of influence. So we would think also of maybe Musa's own personality and then style, right? What personality on board that you suggest Musa should use to address the issue. So we are going to do this, and then after that, we draw the script which we would role play it for 5 minutes.
Dr. Bedu is going to leave you participants. Normally, right. Amazing. So I think it's time for us to act it out.
Hello, Sam. Good afternoon.
Oh, yes, Musa, how are you doing? I'm good, and thanks.
Oh, I'm fine. There's this thing bothering my mind and I want to discuss with you.
What's going on? What's wrong? Go ahead and tell me and let me know.
Why did you accept to teach the field training?
Oh, okay. But I received the letter from the dean of the college, and I had to go.
But don't you think it's a role I should have taken?
Hmm, I don't think so, because this is my 10th year here at the university, and that's how the system works. If you assign something, you go and implement it.
Don't you think I'm being punished for voicing out on the promotions and how
Hmm,
funds are also managed here?
I don't think so, but you are right at some point. So I think we can try to go and see the dean and talk about that if you don't mind.
But before we go to see the dean, look at something. Imagine you also take up a project.
Yeah,
As I handle this project, it means
yeah,
the university is going to get two sources of funding for the
yeah.
project. You benefit and I also benefit. Don't you think that's a better idea?
Great. Yeah, it's a good idea, but still things are the way that it is being implemented. So as I said, even though we can all benefit from it, but it's better to consult the dean and listen from him and see how he thinks about it.
But things going to stay like this forever.
I will help you. The dean is closer to me compared to you, so I will try to assist and try to listen what he's thinking.
Okay. Then let's go and see the dean.
Okay, let's go.
Knocking, knocking, dean.
Hello, guys, gentlemen. How are you?
We are good. We are good. Hello, Dean. This is Musa, and we have something to discuss with you.
Of course,
Hopefully, you have more
I know
time.
Musa.
Okay, thank you.
He's very
Musa,
happy.
please go ahead and share your thoughts with the Dean.
Good afternoon, dean.
Hello, Musa.
I hope you're doing well.
I've been all right. How are you? How is the
I'm
project?
fine. The project is going well. I don't want to apologize for what happened the last time. I realized you were not too enthused about my actions.
Oh, let it slide. You know, I think it's your youthful exuberance, right? I think I've been in such cases when I was at your age, on your level.
But Dean, I think that there's a big opportunity we are losing as a university, which I want
Okay,
us to discuss.
tell me about.
This project we are working on is something I try to look out for from the community. I was thinking that if all faculty members could go out into the community to look out for projects, we'll receive funding for all these projects. What do you think about that?
I think it's possible, but I think it'll be very helpful if you volunteer to show other faculty the way. So I think it's doable, yes. So how do we not miss out?
Because I think that the way things are going, if our donors come to do an appraisal and realize that funds were not used for the reasons for which they were sought, we may lose out funding altogether, and that will not help the university.
Hmm. How will they find out? I think we've been doing the right thing all this while.
Sometimes they do surprise appraisal with third-party agents,
Okay,
and you never know when it will be our turn.
okay. So do you want me to put in a word with the finance director?
I think we should have a structured approach for how funds are dispersed on projects that are funded by foreign donors.
Okay, you can come up with a draft. Let's add it to our next staff meeting.
Okay, thank you. I'll work with Sam on that to get a draft.
That's fine. So let's say hopefully end of the month will be fine. You can send it to me.
Okay. Secondly, I want to ask, how can you help me to get my promotion? Because I have done all the structures, all the things required in the requirements, and they still turn me down. As an adult and an elder of this university, I want you to guide me on how to go about things.
Are you sure you met all the requirements? I know you have your PhD. Your PhD supervisor was my mate for a project we worked on during our postdoctoral. So if you met all the requirements, did they give you any reason? Were they flags? Did they give you any reason why you couldn't?
They asked me to add an article, but I added two. And the reason they gave was that I'm not a team player and I do not take advice.
Did this come from the chair of the committee or?
It came through a letter from the committee. However, this letter was not signed, so I'm not able to attribute it to anyone.
Mr.
Okay,
Dean.
okay.
Mr. Dean.
Sam, are you aware of this?
Mr. Dean. Yeah, I will. I will follow up on this issue and make sure that I talk to the promotion committee officer and see how we can avoid threatening his promotion as he fulfill all the requirements.
That's fine. And he said the letter wasn't also signed, so I feel that could be ignored. But keep a copy of that letter just in case, So Sam, I'll await your feedback. And I think I have a committee's meeting, and I know the chair of the promotions committee will be there. So Sam, give me heads up. I'll also raise it there and see how it goes.
Sure, I will.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Dean, for making time for me.
Don't mention
Have a
yourself.
wonderful day. Son,
Thank you.
I think we can
Today
go
you're
now.
being a good boy. Today you're being a good boy, Mister.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right.
NF role play.
Right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, you've all done well from discussion, scripts, and then role play. So we are going to the next slide to look at how we can actually see our performance by giving each other the feedback on ourselves, right? So we are going to give our own feedback. Ajua is here, she'll give feedback. I'll also give feedback. But like I said earlier, if we were in different groups, each group will give feedback to another group, but then we are only one group. So let us see how we were able to go through the discussion very well, the planning, the scripts, and then the role that we just played. Thank you very much. So role play and fear and peer feedback for 50 minutes. Let's see whether we can be within time. You put yourself in the role of a coach. What was good about the group's action plan and role play? So you are now going to talk about your own action plan and role play. If a member of the team were to encounter such a situation again, how could your approach or their approach be improved? So for the third one, the comparing and contrasting, we will leave it because we are only one group. First one, what was good about the group's action and the role play that you did? So you did the exams and you are marking yourself. That is sort of.
All
I
right, I
think
would start since I'm the outsider looking in, right? I would just like to say that I really enjoyed or appreciated maybe discussion about what enablers and disablers were and trying to identify those in the case. I thought that was a very good use of what you had learned on the online course. And I think being a facilitator, you have to really understand the enablers and disablers reasons and rationalizations because you can facilitate a session and participants might be asking to help to direct them identify those key areas. So I think it was very refreshing to see you all try to break it down from the story. I also liked the element of I know that we asked about the element of issues of personality and style. And I like how the topic of African bosses came up, right? And this course is designed with the African context in mind. And so, as we even work through these dilemmas, we want to try to still fit the cultural context, which I think you guys also did a good job of identifying and trying to fit your solution with that in mind. And I like how also, I think it was maybe Dennis. So when Jesse asked about someone apologizing, and then Dennis said, for what exactly? Because we also have to think about these cases are actually real, but we just have changed some of the names and then the institutions, but these are real life case studies. And so I thought it was very interesting and quite a realistic response, because sometimes, yeah, you'd want to give your voice to your values in a good way, which I think Dennis also mentioned, that the whole point of the course is to find a solution to your ethical dilemma without stepping on toes as much as you can, right? And so I saw a lot of that at play, of you guys trying to navigate all the different nuances but still get Musa a good a good effect or a good outcome. So I think that was really good. If a different approach, uh I don't know, but it could be helpful as well if maybe there were other faculty members besides Sam who maybe have a better relationship with Musa, because it felt like Sam was kind of a backstabber. I think you all mentioned that. So I think maybe if there were other faculty members who were or who could sort of what's the word, who could support or who could vouch for Sam, right? Maybe they could also go with him to the meeting with the dean to sort of say, hey, you know, Musa has this kind of background, Musa is this kind of person. And though he might have a temper, I think there's ABC that's great about him as a team member, as a faculty member. So that would be one thing that maybe I would try to do if I were in Musa's shoes. But who knows, maybe your other faculty members may not also want to put their neck on the line for you. Because what if it backfires and now they are saying, Adjoa, you went to vouch for him and look at how he's behaving. What do you do? Yeah. So that's just my little input.
Thank you, Ajua, for that insightful information and analysis on the group role play. Any member from the group?
Jesse here. So I agree with what
Okay, Jesse.
Adra shared.
Mm,
And I also added that it would have been nice to sort of add an email thread to the conversation with the dean, because he could wake up tomorrow and tell you, we never had this conversation. So especially when Musa suggested ways to improve accountability when it comes to donor funds, and also when Musa sought his assistance in putting in a word or following up on his promotion, especially when he got sort of an unwarranted letter from the promotions committee. It would be nice for Musa to start an email thread, add Sam, add other faculty members like Ajua mentioned, just in case, it goes south, then he could always make reference to that.
Okay. So where would that email thread be? Where will it come in? Is it under where he gives
Think
the
it
reason,
would be part of the action plan. So
part of the action plan?
after everything, Musa could say, I'm going to, so that we confirm that you sanctioned this project, I'm going to send an email and I'll copy Sam.
Okay. Okay. So an email thread could also serve as an evidence of whatever has aspired, so that in case the dean or Sam, they disagree on something, then Musa will have evidence. That is very good note. Any other member of the group?
So I want to comment about the issue of the help.
Okay.
Uh, um, the dean spoke more of unofficial help,
Okay.
and so the person is my mate, and but I think we should look more of a mentorship or coaching of a sort. So if you go for the interview and they ask for this, try and provide it this way. So you're looking at the approaches, you're looking at the person's response. Because we mentioned earlier that Musa is a bit quick-tempered. So chances are that even at the interview, he's giving cheeky answers and he's full of himself. You understand? However, because of the past events, he still thinks that they are hitting back at him because he has voiced his value. But these are things that the dean can help Musa not to tame him, but to uh, teach him a better way of still expressing your values, but in an empathetic manner.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. So I will start from the values-based position where you mentioned trust, you mentioned community support, you mentioned mediocrity, we feeling, and then love for the community, which is also part of the community support. But value-based position, so we can also look at Musa's background and how he suffered through the community support before he came who he is. And if we could remember, the case says that when the mother's property got burnt, the community supported the mother, and through which he was able to go back to school again. So that made him to have that kind of love for the community, and he's all out there to do whatever he can do to support the community to grow. So he went out sourcing for grants to support the community. So he's seeing that the grant that he has secured for the community support is being used wrongly or being misappropriated. He has to come out to defend it, that this is what I want the money for, and then it is being used for something else. So you could realize that the same issue could be part of his enablers. So you mentioned the vocal, he being vocal as one of his enablers, being forceful and being play by the rules, that is right. He wants the actual thing to be done, because if the grant is meant for something, why should we use it for something else? Then he has good academic credentials through the community support. So in that vein, he would also want to help the community members also to come to his level or reach higher, attain higher qualification in life. And being so passionate about the community you mentioned, then his network probably with the ministry or certain leaders of the community and faculty can help him. The disablers, you mentioned quick-tempered. Can quick-tempered make a disabler? Because quick-tempered would rather make him come out to speak quickly without even not thinking about what he was going to say. So I feel quick-tempered should rather go to enabler. And
No,
then, okay,
I
bring your
I
views.
disagree.
Okay,
So
bring your views.
if someone is quick-tempered, the
Mm-hmm,
person so if you look at the situation, even when he won the case
mm-hmm,
and the dean was asked to give him the funds, he said
mm-hmm,
the dean should take it.
mm-hmm.
And that's what he wanted. So the
Okay.
question is, were you going through the process to get the funds, or you are just going through the process for the sake of it? I don't know if
Oh, I see where you are coming from. So
uh-huh.
where he says you can take it, I think
Yes.
that could be just a passing sentence
Oh no, it's not a
out
passing
of
comment
he
though.
being annoyed, out of he being annoyed. But a
So
quick-tempered person will not leave any stone unturned, right? A
quick temper
quick-tempered
is
person would rather come out to speak quickly about issues that boils him or her up.
Yes, but you see, sometimes it leads you to say things that you shouldn't have said.
It makes you to
Yeah, so it
lose
could
sight
be
of the real details. You know,
okay.
Yes.
So it could be a positive or a negative thing.
yes,
Oh no,
So
it's
it
a
could.
negative.
it's a
Quick temper
negative.
is a negative
Okay.
attribute.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So talking about broken system, that is fine. The mediocrity came here again and lack of support because he might not get the support of the elderly ones if he should come out to say something. And then we look also at power play. Is the dean and Sam not using their power on Musa? Because they are above him in position.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
they may see themselves as the stronger people, and Musa will be the weaker one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that could also play. And then they are indifferent because Musa is actually acting on certain values that these people wouldn't have, or they may have, but they still will not work with it. So they may be indifferent, right? And that differences could also create a problem. It could also play a big problem between Musa and the team members. So let's come to the reasons and rationalizations. You mentioned this is how things are done. Okay, you mentioned all the reasons and a lot. You have, I recorded about 8, but I heard you mention 10. And you put 10 in the chat, which is fine. But one thing that you could have also done is I realized you wanted to do it. Somebody drew their attention, then you wanted to come to it. But then it seems you were thinking about time. So you mentioned a few and you left it. Reasons. So these were reasons and rationalizations that Sam and the dean will give to Musa. But then how will Musa address them? So addressing those reasons and rationalizations part didn't come. But I heard you mention like how long will this be done? And then taking into consideration who is going to lose the job if you are saying Musa will lose the job. And then the donors, they might stop giving the fund to the university or the grant. So they will end up losing the funds that they were getting to support the community. So Musa could give all these examples to encounter or address the reasons that they gave. So by that, he's now fighting back for what is right to be done and then the effects, right? So I would want you to think about some of the effects that this thing might cause them. If you can give me a few of the effects before we come to levers of influence. So out of the reasons and
Look,
rationalizations,
effects of what? Okay. The effects of their reasons and rationalizations.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so Musa can actually be scandalized in a way that he could try to, talk about this and maybe he never receive any project. He will never be asked to do any project again.
Yeah. And not affecting just Musa, but it can affect the other team members as well.
Yes,
And talking about the reputation of the university, which we mentioned earlier. So Musa can use that, right? So if they love the university and they want the university to grow, they will then stop doing that. Because if the money is coming in and they are using it for something else, it will bring the university's reputation down, not just within the country, but it can go internationally. So that is one of the issue that Musa can use and to defend his values, right? Then we have levers of influence. Approaching the chair of the committee, the dean, provost, VC, ministry, or minister of education. Okay, that is fine. So there is another incident where somebody mentioned making amends, right? Which is also good because at the end of the day, what Musa is fighting for is about defending his values. And he would want them to treat him by his values. They should go by his values. If they don't want to live their life in that way, for him, whenever they are dealing with him, they should consider his values. So wanting to make amends is also a key factor to ensure that the situation is not repeated, and which I heard you mention. So in that aspect, there will be an alignment, a kind of alignment with Musa, that for him, even if they are cheating on the other people, the other faculty, which has happened in the past, but at his time, he said no, 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 no. So they will be able to treat him the way he wants. If Musa says, I'm not a thief, don't force Musa to steal. Or Musa says, I can't cheat in exams. Don't force Musa to cheat in exams. So that is his values position. And that is where he wants to align with the people so that they will treat him as such. Right. So any question from your group, what do you see as the benefits of participating in a GVV role play?
Before we go on that, I wanted to ask if you have gone through the various sessions, I think since last week.
Yes.
Are you able to share, give us a fair idea how other teams have addressed these issues?
Oh, so it's not different, right? It's not
Okay.
different. If I could talk about yesterday's own, the value position they spoke about, Musa having the community at heart and being a citizenship and having a sense of belonging to his community. So it's the same thing we have mentioned here. And enablers and disablers, with enablers, they mentioned the strong values position of Musa, his support for the community, and then level of appeal that he hoped to. He has the hope that the HR for anything will support his fight for his values. And then it could also be that the promotion committee may have a chair who he could approach for support. And also his love for the work that he is doing in the university could also make him to speak up or will be one of his enablers. And then these enablers, what could prevent him from airing his values could be that he may be afraid that his promotion will not be given, but he didn't even look at that. And then the power play, the power balance, the rank of the people who are higher than him. And then there is a culture of silence within that university because this issue has happened to some people who never complain. They never speak up, right? And then fear of unfair judgment from the other superior, that he may go to other superiors to see them, talk to them about the issue, but they may not support him. And then fear of intimidation, and then fear of the other people having interest for what he wanted to do. Then when we come to reasons, there was respect to authority, and then how he wants things to be done, he would have to address it the same way. And levers of influence appeal to institutions the institution's reputation, right? So that is one of the reasons why he is defending. So if you look at levers of influence, they go with addressing the reasons and rationalizations, and then to quickly defend and speak for his values. So those are some of the things. And you equally mentioned the same.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if I remember correctly as well from yesterday's session, one of the participants had shared that once they go speak with the dean and the feedback isn't positive, as Musa, they will just say goodbye to Akwentio University. That was another response that came up. But once Dr. Beju is done, we would read the case B and see what Musa actually did.
Okay. Yeah. So they suggested that Musa should leave. But then that brought a follow-up question. So each group and what they will come out with and how it will be addressed. For instance, they mentioned the chair of the committee, right? So in that vein, there was a question about if the chair also didn't support him, would he want to leave? And some mentioned that Musa could leave the institution for another place because he was left alone, right? He didn't get any support from colleagues, support from any other higher rank people, right? So I would want you to let me know your benefits, whether you gain something, you have learned a new thing about these values after doing the model and doing this one too.
Yeah, for me, it made me reflect on my experience so far. Sometimes we face similar challenges, or maybe in the sector or in the field that we are in. Sometimes the similar issues arise, but we have to reflect on that and put on the shoes in the shoes of the people who were faced by the issue and see how we can deal with it when it happens to us.
Okay, thank you, William, for that. So putting yourself in the role of a facilitator, you will get the certificate to facilitate after doing the model and doing the live one. So in case you are facilitating, what questions would you want to ask, or the process, how would you want the process to become? Your suggestions will be used to build on the slides for future facilitation. And then I forgot about the email thread that you mentioned. That was unique from what was done yesterday, right? And I like it
Yes, that's
because
true.
you realize that I emphasized on that because that is going to be a record.
Mm-hmm.
The dean and some could delete from their email, but Musa could still have it. And that made me to remember an issue where we realized that I don't want to mention it, but that is a personal thing. The email was hacked so that they could be able to delete that information. But we realized quickly and then we changed the password because the person was going to be hot. And he worked such that they hacked the email and he wasn't successful. Right. So it's a very good thing. Apart from the email, maybe he could even print and keep it somewhere to serve as, evidence for the future. Any issue could happen, right? So we need your suggestions for facilitating.
I think what we could also add is in the role play we can assume a setting, setting, where
Okay.
for example, the characters would be. So maybe where would we find the dean? Maybe the dean will be at the senior common room with some other colleagues. We go in and ask to speak to him privately, or we will find him on his normal gym routine at the school gym. So I think it's important if we add a setting,
Okay.
makes it
All
more
right. So that in the role play, you add it, right?
yes, it becomes color.
Okay. So this is one of the cases. It's always not the same case we handle. So we do different cases, but we will look at how we could apply this to all the cases having a setting. If it is a physical role play, I think we can add that. Yeah, but this one is online. But then when you are doing the role play, maybe you can mention that I am going to see the dean in his office, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So you mentioned the setting. Thank you so much for that. So any other question? If there is none, can we move to the next slide?
No, I
Okay.
wanted to add that,
Okay, go up.
you know,
Yeah. Go
the
to
role
question
play,
back.
the role play helps you to
Mhm.
think, because even though the concepts have been discussed, how you even present it in terms of your choice of words, tone, everything brings it practically for us to. So you might have said that, yes, Musa should speak to the dean to make amends. But how do you create that ambience of speaking to the dean and making amends? Your choice of words matter, your tone matters, and all these things. So it is a role play that will help participants to
That
know,
brings
okay,
it.
so if I use a word like this, it may sound disrespectful, but that same intent can be expressed in other words like this. And so I think that helps. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for that. So I want to move your mind somewhere. So in case you want to facilitate, what will be your preparation for facilitation? Do you need any help? In case you have to facilitate, do you need any support from us? Any material support? Any coaching support? Anything?
Well, I think today's session has been very elaborative. And so we'll go by similar approach, trying
Okay.
to involve participants. Because though we're asked to read the case before
Mm,
today, we still read
mm,
it in class, and
okay.
it gave us the opportunity to all speak out even before the discussions started. So I think
Okay.
it's a good option. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So, as I said earlier, different teams or different session and how the facilitation goes. For instance, yesterday after we read the case, I realized that the participants didn't have time to read. So, because the time was very close for them, so there was a case summary which I read for them to get the major issues of the case. But with your session, I realized that you are very, glued, glued to the case. You understand the case. You know it. So you were able to move on without any case summary, right? So let me say congratulations to you for that. And out of yesterday, what came up, we have listed some supports, right? Which I will just mention because some people ask how they can be supported in terms of facilitation. If they have to facilitate, how can we support them? So we put down some readiness or GVV Africa Facilitator Readiness tips. We actually do some coaching. If you are a new facilitator, we will give you support. So you will not be left alone. We will take you through the slides. We will do some tutorials of how you could facilitate. So for me, I have had Dr. Mrs. Uwa to take me through certain sessions. There is prep towards facilitations, right? And then you also have to do continuous live participation of the sessions so that you see different ways by which different cases are being handled. And new cases are coming all the time because these cases are issues, they are real issues. So when people tell their story, it is picked and then written in a way that the main person involved will not come out, right? The protagonist's name will not come out. If it is a company, the company's name will not come out. That is why in this one, we have used Akwantuo University. And then before you facilitate, you must know your participants, their background, and then that will let you know what case to choose for them. For instance, I heard somebody mentioning that he works at the Bank of Ghana, right? So for such background, there are a lot of cases that we have that goes for you in terms of this one to looking like a fraud case, some cases of accountability in terms of money being embezzled from businesses and all that. Then we have the point where you have to identify or the case should be suitable for the group, right? So if you know your group, you choose a case that will be suitable for them, and then you prepare your PowerPoint. As for the PowerPoint, we can help all the new facilitators to come out with something. Then sometimes, if time allows, we use Mentimeter, not just Mentimeter, but you can use Padlet or Google Doc, any document that you can share where the participants will put in what is at stake, those kind of enablers and disablers. So I made you to mention and I write, but sometimes we do project it through either Padlet, either Mentimeter or Google Docs, right? And then you have to let your presentation be participant-centered, and then be attentive to whatever they say so that you can repeatedly mention and then add more to it. Listen attentively if you are a facilitator or and ask leading questions, right? And you need to be taking note whilst the participants are talking so that you can refer to your notes to address whatever point or discussion or insightful ideas they might come out with. And then you learn from the outcome, like we are asking you, whatever you have learned and whatever we have learned, we use it to build on our future facilitation. But so the situation is not always the same. It can change based on your environment that you are facilitating, based on this internet that can even disturb. A lot of things can happen. But then in all, you need to be creative, you need to be innovative, and then quickly you should be able to do something when a situation that you have not planned for happened. Like today, I thought we were supposed to be four, but I planned the reading case for four people. Immediately, I have to change for three people, right? I quickly did that, but you might not know. So anything could happen to distract you, and you prepare your mind, you prepare yourself, join the meeting on time and wait for the people. Don't allow the participants to join before you, the facilitator, you join. You have to join early so that if there is going to be any difficulty, you sort it out before the participants would even join and before you start. So I'll end it here if you have any question about these points that I have raised. And this could not be all. There is still room for improvement on these tips that we have projected here. Okay. So usually we have the case A, which is the issue, and we try to find out how the protagonist had handled the issue, or we suggest how the protagonist should handle the issue. Then the case B tells us how the issue was handled, because this is actually a real case. So having shared the case B with you, when you read, though we have given our suggestion and all that, the case B will tell us how the person handled the issue, right?
Yes.
So if you don't have any question at this moment, or all your questions are done at this moment, I will hand over to Ajua to continue.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. I hope that this session was quite helpful. Although I sit in these sessions every time, it's always great to hear the different perspectives and how the participants respond to the ethical dilemmas. So this was a really good one. And I think this is one of the unique ones we've had this month, and Dr. Bade, because of the elements of the cultural context that they brought up, and also the email thread. So I have shared the case B, and I think it'll be quite great for you to see that Musa continued to work at Akwentu because of his passion and his drive for the community development and for his community members. So you can take some time and read through it, and just get abreast with the outcome. Thank you so much, gentlemen. If you like to facilitate these GVV workshops in your places of work, if you have a nonprofit or a small organization, whatever that you like to facilitate the session in, you can always reach out to me, and I will be able to provide you with that support with the help of our facilitators as well. All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Diana, and do enjoy the weekend ahead. You may always reach out via email should you need any support. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ajua, for
Thank you, Dr.
coordinating.
Baidu.
All right. Bye for now.
Take care. Bye.